Everyone, welcome back to Building History. I'm Trinity, and today we're starting our HMS Victory build from Constructo. Now here you can see we're just numbering all our individual pieces. The bulkheads are very thick in this kit, which is very nice, good quality. It is an older kit. When I did get it, some of the pieces were warped, but we sorted that all out. But here we're just gonna number everything, just the easy bit before we get to the fun stuff in a little bit. Before we actually start building, let me know what you guys think of these types of videos down below, the voiceover, what you think of it and everything. That'd be amazing, and I appreciate your comments. Yeah, my cat's getting in the way over there. You can see that there isn't really too many things you actually have to cut out. Like on the Endeavour, there was a lot of boards, and the keel came in 2 pieces. So yeah, this is nice, simple, just 1 piece for the keel, and those things on the end there, the little triangle pieces, are actually for the stern. So we'll see what that is when we come to it. So as you can see here, we're actually cutting the pieces out. Now this, it's not the hardest, but trust me, the thickness of the wood is making it a bit more challenging. It's not like other kits from like Oka or the Artesania Latina, where you only have to cut out a small bit. The wood here, where you actually have to cut it, as you can see, it's quite a long strip there. It's also like the thickness of the wood itself is quite difficult to actually cut out. Yeah, I need to also get a box knife. I'm not sure what people call them. I call it a box knife. We use it to cut boxes, but yeah, my one's been through the trenches recently. I think getting a new one might be a better idea than using this bald thing. But here we're cutting out the keel. It's a rather big piece. I don't know, the box this thing came in is rather big. It is very big, but when we assemble the skeleton, you'll see later in today's video, it's actually not as big as I thought it would be. Obviously when the bow mast is on and everything, it'll be a longer, but not as big as I thought it was going to be. And here we just continue with the cutting out of the bulkheads, and I'll be back when we move on from this step. So here, this is the next day obviously, and overnight I left some weight on it to try and straighten it out. As I said, it warped. And also on the bulkheads itself, I put another weight on top of that, just to try and straighten everything out. But what matters here is that when you actually do place the bulkheads into position, that they're nice and square. That's the most important thing whenever you're building these models. You want to keep everything square, and when you do start planking it, it keeps it nice and straight. You don't want to mess those parts up. It's the most important part of actually building these model ships. So here I'm going ahead and fitting the first bulkhead. I didn't actually test fit them, but I did again test fit them after this. The first bulkhead kind of a little bit loose, but it goes in nicely. You'll see there's also an extra piece that goes in front of the bulkhead. Just gonna glue everything in place. And as you can see at the bottom of the frame, I know you get better at my recording my videos, but just making sure everything's square. I went ahead and glued this one into place, but we need to do a test fit with everything else first. Obviously we glue here with white glue, wood glue, whatever you want to call it. It's just a lot stronger than super glue in this situation. You want to make sure these bonds are solid and intact. As you can see here, now we're going to go ahead and test fit. Some of the bulkheads actually go in very tight. I didn't actually sand them down just because I wanted them to be, you know, real tight on there. Yeah, here 7, 8, 9 and 10 were so hard to test fit, because I'm test fitting, I didn't put glue on them. I actually had to use a hammer to get them out, but that's very nice actually, especially when they go in nice and square. But test fitting here, most of them went in pretty nice and straight. Here you can see everything in the test fit, and now we're moving on to actually gluing everything into place. There's a lot of stuff to glue here, so yeah, and this was a fun part. You feel like you're actually getting a lot of stuff done, which you are. This is the quick part, if you will, where you can actually get stuff done very quickly, because after this it's planking the decks and then planking the actual hull, which takes, I'd say, the longest amount of time before rigging. Rigging is fun. This one doesn't have too many ropes for rigging, but we'll make a plan. There you can just see I'm cleaning up the excess glue. You don't want too much glue there. Just keep everything nice and neat, and then make sure everything's nice and square. And then put a bit of CA glue to just hold it in place and keep it square while it dries. So you want it nice and straight. Now with this piece, the cannon backing hole, if you will, didn't come out. It wasn't printed properly. I just had to cut it out. It was a bit of a mission, but we got that done. As you can see, we're almost done with actually placing the bulkheads in. I think there was only 16 of them, so nice and easy and quick. And then we're going to move on to something else. Okay, so moving on from the actual building of the skeleton, we're still continuing on with it technically, but here you can see we've placed some supports at the bow for the front deck, the bow deck. And then we're placing some supports here. These are for the bow masts. I mean, the masts for the sails. They go behind directly onto the bulkhead, but they're not exactly straight. You can sand them down or just push them against it like I did here. Now you're going to place 3 of these supports along the whole ship. You always want to use a little bit of CA glue and wood glue just to hold everything in place, which is exactly what I'm doing here. And yeah, also guys, please just let me know if you want longer form videos or short form videos, because recording this took me about 2 hours. I'm gonna edit it down into about 10 minutes. Or if you guys would like longer videos with longer explanations, just let me know down below. And if you're feeling kind, maybe leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. Then here we're placing in the last support, and then we'll be moving on to placing the cannon back in. Here we are going to be cutting out the cannon backing. Now this was very difficult, as it's not like the bulkheads where you only have to cut off a small piece. As you can see here, we're actually cutting a pretty big strip, and there isn't little grooves or indents. There's a little indent so your knife can follow it, but it's a mission. Here you can see it fitted in place. Now that was a bit hard to get in there, but it's easier once you've done one. Now the key thing here is patience, and I was not being very patient. You can also warm it up in water and bend it like in the Endeavor series with the planks for planking the hull. But I didn't do that. I don't know why. I wasn't thinking. But we just stick it through the bottom holes here, and then it has to kind of meet up in the middle. You'll see here I push it forward in a little bit of a rush. Not this piece, I believe, maybe it was the other one, but I basically broke it. As you can see, we're kind of just pushing it forward, and this is the part where you need to be patient, and I wasn't very patient. See, I'm just trying to force it through. See, if I had a little bit, if I steamed the plank a little bit, this wouldn't have happened, but you can see here, boom. It didn't snap all the way, so I just pushed it through into that little hole, and I fixed it with a bit of CA glue, just to hold everything in place. I'm gluing all the decks down here with a bit of CA glue too. Just it's nice and strong bond. You want to do it on both sides, obviously, not just one. But I'm doing it on one for some reason. And then we move on to a different step, which is placing some decks, but they're below, you won't really be able to see them. So we'll move on to that. And as you can see here, those are the decks. And then we move on to placing the second layer of cannon backing. These decks here are very small, you don't really have to worry about them. Just put them in the middle and you should be fine. I didn't even plank them, they're not visible, so you don't really need to worry. And now, my friends, this is where I'm going to leave you for today's video. I hope you did enjoy. Let me know what you think down below, and I hope you're excited for this series. Episode 2 will be out next week, and I hope to see you there. If you did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon.